Cursed Halo Reach. If you are someone who hasn't been happy with how Halo is going, then allow me to show you the work of one man, one Halo modder, one passionate Halo player who has created one of the greatest Halo mods of all time, featuring new weapons, new vehicles, new equipment. It is absolutely amazing the amount of content Gashnor has put into this mod. So what I'm going to do, and it's an enormous task, but I'm going to show off as much of the new content as possible, completely review the mod, and if it is something you would like to play, the link to the mod on the Steam Workshop will be in the description below. Now I think it's very important to note that Gashnor took inspiration from Inferno Plus's Cursed Halo mod. The biggest difference I can see between Inferno Plus and Gashnor is that a lot of the fun, goofy weapons in Cursed Halo Reach you're going to see are actually very viable weapons. They work very, very well, so that makes the overall playthrough very arcadey, a casual fun experience, whereas Inferno Plus causes me a lot of pain. Both truly amazing mods, but it seems like they had different goals in mind. Now when I said there was new weapons, new equipment, armor abilities, and vehicles, I wasn't kidding.
It's a hovercraft.
Look at me go.
I wish I didn't get on this. Holy shit.
Take a look.
Now I should start by saying it was really obvious that Gashnor wanted this mod to be fun, to play it with friends and to have a good time. He even added a new armor ability called the Interdimensional Rift that when you place it down will spawn 3 to 4 random items that he has created from the sandbox. It's unlimited and gives you the opportunity to try out all the wonderful new things he's made. Now the first weapon I need to talk about is the ODST soundtrack saxophone, and if you looked at this weapon and didn't think it was deadly, you are in for a shock. Yes, it plays the iconic theme, but it absolutely destroys any single enemy in close proximity. Next up, we have the Harry Potter simulator. Throughout playing the Cursed Halo Reach campaign, you may come across a magical staff. These staves have different elemental abilities from electric to fire to even slip space. The electrical staff is very, very powerful, the fire staff does damage over time, and the slip space staff, which is called the dark staff, will send objects into oblivion if it is in the explosive radius.
Wizard.
Now we all know that Halo Infinite is supposed to have a double barrel shotgun. We also all know that it isn't going to come out. So hey, Gashnor put in his own double barrel shotgun and it is a lot of fun to use. It's also really funny that when I was playing Nightfall, the nighttime mission with Jun, you come across a box of shotguns. I don't even know what to say. The box of shotguns is just a straight meme, but you know, I love it. It's really good. Now if we're talking about meme weaponry, we have to mention the Mountain Dew DMR. I don't even have to say anything more than that. Mountain Dew themed designated marksman rifle, DMR. Actually one of the more reliable weapons in the game's sandbox, as it still functions as a DMR, albeit the bullet travel time is a lot slower. Now, all throughout Xbox's history, there has been a number of different consoles, from the original Xbox itself to the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the Xbox One X, and then finally the series consoles. Thanks to Gashnor, you can now use them as weapons, featuring all different firing modes. Some will rapid fire, others can be held down. If you hold down the strongest Xbox console weaponry, you can fire a massive red ring of death at the Unexpecting Covenant. These honestly might be my favorite weapons in the mod. There's even an original Xbox gravity hammer that when you swing it, will swing the original loading screen straight at the enemy. Now, as you just saw, the secondary weapon I had is actually the suplex pistol, a pistol that when you shoot an enemy with it will send whoever you hit with it into the sky and then slam them back down into the earth. It is an instant kill via splattering. It even has a super version, and when I spoke about wacky weapons that were actually very useful, this is the perfect example of that.
Noble's
What the
reconnaissance has also identified sophisticated Covenant army hiding canopies, and has pinpointed what's believed to be a landing zone for additional Covenant forces, the origin of which is yet to be determined.
Now, Gashnor made some, how do I put this? Creative decisions when creating Cursed Halo Reach, featuring Super Saiyan George.
Mom,
What have you done with my armor?
just some additions I've made.
Indeed.
Which, by the way, is actually his shields, so if you shoot him and they go down, you'll hear him power up again as they recharge. There's also flying cones, which are reskinned falcons, but more on them later. And Kat, instead of taking a needle rifle bullet to the helmet, gets her head clean taken off. To really rub salt into the wound of humanity losing the planet Reach, the Brute from Club Herrera, the famous Easter egg, is celebrating the glassing of New Alexandria. Now, speaking of the nightclub Easter egg, there's a chance a spam pop-up will appear during the campaign. I got one for the club itself. There's plenty of very small changes you'll notice as you play through. Gashnor's dog appears at the start of the campaign. He's a good boy. And all of Noble Team have the Mr. Chief helmet equipped. I should also mention that Cortana has actually changed. She will now help the Master Chief in Halo Combat Evolved by making him into an alcoholic. No, I'm not joking. She is now a bottle of Jacob Keyes. Captain Keyes himself also uses the Combat Evolved face model, giving him a super creepy look. Now, moving on from that, there is even more weapons that you guys need to see. These weapons are absurd, and I use that word literally. For example, at the end of Halo Reach, there is now a silenced Mac cannon. Huh? What? One of the most powerful weapons in the UNSC arsenal, and now the Covenant will never see it coming. Featuring a full silencer, it does the same damage, but when I heard Emil firing it, I was like, hang on a minute, this sounds silenced. I look up into the sky, and it actually was. Aside from that, and I actually reached out to Gashnor about how many weapons were in this mod, he said there's 70 brand new weapons he has created for the Cursed Halo Reach mod, and Halo Infinite only had one new weapon. We have a boxing glove, and it does exactly what it says. It smacks up the Covenant Rocky style. There's a baseball bat featuring a broken variant, and if you pick up the broken baseball bat, you can actually throw it at the enemies. And by far the most ridiculous weapon of all, a silenced energy sword. If you have wanted Halo to have stealth, then look no further, as if you thought a silenced Mac cannon was ridiculous, you now have a silenced energy sword. Implosion launcher? Oh! Now, it's really funny because I'm a fan of Borderlands, and the last thing I expected was to see Borderlands weaponry in Halo Reach. Gashnor has added 3 Borderland-themed weapons with 3 different levels, all with different effects. From the level 1 version, which is a rapid-fire assault rifle, to the level 4 variant that has incendiary rounds, doing damage over time, and honestly, this gun was so good at taking out tough enemies. I didn't expect it to be good. It was really, really good. And finally, there's the level 9 version. It's just straight up overpowered. It's an assault rifle rocket launcher. So you get rocket launcher rounds with a clip capacity of an assault rifle. You can do the math. You absolutely destroy everyone. Now, one of the most ridiculous weapons in this entire mod is the Grunt Nade Launcher. And yes, it does exactly what you think it would. It fires out grunt nades. Like grenades, but grunts, so grunt nades. But yeah, you get what I mean. Starting on the mission Tip of the Spear, which is being renamed just the tip of the spear. You start with the grenade launcher, it fires out grunts, and the real kicker here is you are also a Mark 5 grunt. You're still a Spartan, you still have shields, but you're miniature, you're tiny, and if you use the sprint armor ability, which makes you go backwards, you look hilarious. Gashnor even updated all of the standard weaponry, so we're talking the Spiker, the plasma rifle, all of those guns which the enemy would use, but you would never pick up, have all been updated, and they're a lot more fun. The Spiker has been renamed the Spooker, it fires out colorful ghosts. The plasma rifle has been renamed the Ground Hugger, as if your enemy is in the air, it will pull whoever you hit with it straight down to the ground. There's a different variant of Spiker called the Laser Light Show, and it does exactly what it sounds like. We have the Fertility Rifle, and Gashnor, why would you call it the Fertility Rifle? And of course, we have the American-made assault rifle that if you use it a lot, it will blow up. Gashnor even added some special guns, which you may run into while you're playing. One is a blood rifle, which is literally a plasma rifle that fires blood. We also have an earth rifle, which literally does what it says and fires rocks. There's a sentinel beam called Beam of the Void, which seems to create its own void area filled with tiny little purple beams that do massive amounts of damage over an entire space. Now, Gashnor really went all out. He even updated the tribute room that Bungie made in 2010, featuring key community members at the time. Hidden Xperia is in the room, and Gashnor even gave him his own energy sword. It reminds me of a Banished theme, and it has his official logo on it, which is very cool, but he also included me in it. On the computer screen that has my name on it, it reads the man who made a career out of insane Halo tricks. It would be a crime to not include him. He also covers Halo news in a genuine way, being both critical and supportive of 343's decisions when applicable. So to celebrate the occasion, and kind of a throwback in a way, here is a brand new Halo trick shot straight from Cursed Halo Reach. I think you're going to like it.
My name is Johnny Knoxville, and welcome to Halo Reach Jackass. This is the shopping cart slaughter.
Target is very dead.
Now this brings us to legendary and iconic weapons, and there are some guns you guys need to see. With there being over 70 weapons in the sandbox, here are some that really stood out to me. First up, it's the CE pistol, the Halo Combat Evolved Magnum. It's in Cursed Halo Reach in all of its beautiful glory. It doesn't one-shot kill the hunters, but it does stun them. I'm so happy he included this. It is by far my favorite weapon in the Halo series. It's a lot of fun to use. There's also the Golden Gun, and it's a literal aimbot. I'm not joking. To balance it, Gashnor severely limited the amount of ammo it has, but if there is an enemy on your screen and you shoot, they instantly die. We also have the Rocket Needler, and it does what it says. It's a needler that fires rocket launchers. There's also a laser variant called the Confetti Cannon. It's a tri-shot laser doing massive amounts of damage, and I think it's even more powerful than the base Spartan laser you use in the vanilla version of the game. It is so damn strong. There's also the Gauss Cannon, and I didn't expect this, but when you zoom it in, it says your extended warranty has expired. Another very strong gun, and it really goes back to what I said before, that a lot of weapons in this mod are very viable, so it's not that hard to get through the campaign. Now, when I mentioned iconic weapons, there is no weapon more iconic than the Scarab Gun. Straight out of Halo 2, but I think it's even more devastating. The Scarab Gun even comes with a Scarab Reticle, and I don't even think I need to say any more than that, because it straight decimates everything, and I mean everything. With that, the final set of weapons I wanted to cover were the sniper rifles. We know that Mint Blitz loves a sniper rifle, so I had to include it. There's two versions I wanted to touch on. One is the Fibonacci Sniper, which, if you shoot it into any wall, will multiply the bullet exponentially, bounce off of walls non-stop, and it's a deadly weapon. If you fire it in a room with lots of enemies, they're dead. There is also the Quad Sniper, and it does literally what it says. It is 4 sniper rifle shots in one. A side note, it has significant knockback. So as you can see, Gashnor went all out in terms of weapons. When I spoke to him, he literally said he almost burnt himself out because he put that much content into this mod. And when you look at every aspect of the game, I can see what he means. We've just covered the weapons, and next up we have the vehicles. The vehicles are phenomenal. Check out the Falcone. That's right, it's a mob boss in Halo Reach, but no, seriously, it's a Falcon and a Cone combined, the Falcone. It has mounted grunt nade launchers. It's just a cool vehicle all around.
I knocked him off the edge.
I heard him scream.
I owe you one, Spartan. I'll see you in hell.
There's also multiple different variants of Ghost. We have the Kamikaze Ghost that literally does a Darth Sidious and flies at the enemy.
Oh my, no.
We also have the Merry Ghost round, which loves to cosplay as Beyblades, as it will spin exactly like a merry-go-round and splatter all of the Covenant. This vehicle was fantastic at clearing out enemies. The third and final Ghost variant, which in my opinion is my favorite, is the Ghosty Skates. Literal like jetpack hovering ice skates, but in the form of a ghost. It's really cool that if you flip, it instantly flips back. You can't splatter anyone with it, but you can shoot the plasma cannons. I love all three of the Ghost variants. They're different and they're a lot of fun to use. Now in terms of the larger vehicles, Gashnor has you covered as well. The Banshees are now paper airplanes, still very strong, but they look hilarious. The Scorpion now has a Mac cannon, and this version is not silenced. It's so powerful, it knocks the Scorpion tank back when you fire it. It makes the section you're playing through with the Scorpion very easy, but it's fun, and that's the main thing. Now when you go into space on the long night of Solus, and even the Seraphs have all seen changes. Across all of these vehicles there seems to be an origami theme. They mainly function the same way, so it's not going to be confusing, but they're funny enough to fit the cursed theme, and I think they're really cool. Moving on to the Warthogs, and there's a number of different versions you need to see. From the Wumbo Warthog firing reflective red lasers that is a lot of fun to shoot, to the Bayou Warthog, a literal hovercraft, super duper fast, a lot of fun to drive, and I'm throwing it in this section, the Wart Wraith. It's a Wart Wraith. Every time the Wraith shoots, it will go Wart. You can see why I'm putting it into the Warthog section. If the Wraith shot hits you, it will actually stick to you and do major damage. There's also lots of miscellaneous vehicles. Of course, you guys saw in the trick shot, there is the shopping cart. There is the NMPD police car that goes wee woo wee woo wee woo. These shade turrets have the Xbox Series X firing projectiles. There is mongooses, mongeese, mongai. Leave a comment down below as to which plural is the acceptable one, but there are super fast mongooses that you can also use. All around, the vehicles are phenomenal. Gashnor did an awesome job. Next up, we have armor abilities. And yes, every single armor ability is in the game. Yes, there is jetpack. Yes, there is active camouflage, but they are all the cursed variants. The jetpack, which has been renamed the Octopack, fires sniper rifle rounds underneath you to send you flying. Yes, you go up really high, but it doesn't turn on right away, meaning you can fall to your death really easily. It can also shoot enemies from underneath, which I thought was really cool. There's the inactive, active camouflage. Yes, you get active camo, but you lose your ability to move. Not the worst thing in the world, as it still makes you go invisible. Coward sprint, well, it makes you run backwards, which I think is hilarious, but still, it's very useful. You can still run quite a way, I think even further than you could in the base version. I know it's supposed to make your life difficult, but in all honesty, I didn't mind it. There's also the mini drop shield, and look, it's honestly useless. It'll protect your toes, so if anyone really cares about your feet, at least they're safe. The hologram actually sends out the Mark V grunt model I mentioned earlier, and even though it looks different, it will still confuse the Covenant. And finally, for the base armor abilities, we have Armor Lock. Renamed to the Crop Duster, it lets out gas and evades at the same time. The brutes in the campaign have this, and they're very annoying to go against. Now there's actually two new equipment as well. One is the interdimensional sphere I covered at the start of the video. It gives you random weapons from the game's sandbox, but just like Inferno Plus's mod, there's other outcomes you can get. Some will kill you, others will grief you, so be warned. The final piece of equipment is straight out of Call of Duty Zombies. It's insta-kill, so if you come across a shining green skull and pick it up, upon activation, it will make any weapon you're holding into a one-hit kill. Nice to have in your backpack if you're going into a situation where you might die. Finally, this brings us to different enemies, as well as things you need to know about this mod, some things people have never noticed. So to start with, there is grunt forms of all major enemies. So elite grunts, Guta grunts, brute grunts, and so on. By far the funniest ones are the Guta grunts. You can encounter them on the Nightfall mission. They are huge. There's also different forms of hunters. Both light and dark hunter forms have different weapon archetypes. They can be big, even the small grunt version as well. A cool way to revamp the mini bosses of the Halo universe. There's also unique objectives and unique checkpoint prompts per level. So Gashnor really thought of everything everything. As a small mini section, and I was going to put these in the weapon category, but they're kind of in their own realm, grenades. There's two different versions of grenades. One are the giant Fs that when you throw them, random Halo themed voices will start swearing that I can't show you or I'll get demonetized, and the rocket propelled grenade that of course you can betray your friends with by sticking it onto them when they don't expect it. Both grenades are fantastic, really well done here. In the level Pillar of Autumn, you literally become a spooky, scary skeleton as you're a magic grunt with a fire staff, and you can burn your way to victory.
Someone played some Halo
just
Reach
melee the
campaign.
box.
Nice.
A small detail that goes overlooked is the Xbox One S projectiles will fire out discs. Those discs actually have different games on it. Gashnor even upgraded the auto turrets on the second to last level, giving them Portal 2 voice lines. These small details are what made this mod so great to me, and more than that, I believe what made Halo in general so popular. All those little details added together are what makes Halo special. Big thank you to Gashnor for creating this mod. The link to it on the Steam Workshop will be in the description if you want to check it out. It got updated about a month ago, so there is new stuff on there if you haven't tried it out lately. There is so much content on this mod, he actually had to break up some of the levels in half as they were starting to hit the memory limit. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like, it really helps. I hope you all enjoyed watching as much as I had playing. Thank you all again, and I'll see you guys later.
Where's he going?